staring into the mirror when I noticed it. Where the other girls had straight up and down bodies, I had a little tummy and thighs that touched. It was the beginning of feeling like my body was flawed. By age 11, I truly believed my weight was a major problem, despite being in the healthy weight range for my BMI. PSA, the BMI is bullshit. We'll talk about that later in the book. I felt that I wasn't going to be good enough until I weighed less, and it seemed the rest of the world agreed with me. I was told you'd be so pretty if you lost weight, so many times that I started to believe it. So my parents took me to a nutritionist. The nutritionist understood my request. I wanted to be thin, and she was willing to help me subscribe to this ideal. She put me on a meal plan, which she pinky promised wasn't a diet, even though it certainly was, then promptly instructed me to weigh out my food. Ha! There was no conversation about body image, about what it actually means to be healthy, or warnings about how dieters are significantly more likely to develop an eating disorder or struggle with their weight as adults. On my first very prescriptive, restricted, healthy eating approach, I went to bed at night with a calorie counting book calculating whether or not I'd been good or bad that day. In addition to the regular weigh-ins at the nutritionist's office, I became obsessed with weighing myself. When I lost weight, I was elated and very proud. Everyone told me I was a good girl. The praise for losing weight reinforced my belief that I wasn't good enough as I was, and that changing my body would help me to be more likable, better, prettier, worthier. And oh, how I wanted that. When I gained weight or even simply didn't lose any, I was distraught. My social currency was losing weight, and I felt bankrupt. My sense of self was based on whether I lost or gained weight and whether I disappointed my family, my nutritionist, and myself. And sure enough, with time, the diets I stuck to so conscientiously stopped being effective. I ate what I was supposed to, but I stopped losing weight. "I've been so good this week," I told my group leader at our public weigh-in, after meticulously tracking points and sticking to free foods all week to dull the intense hunger pangs. "Well, you must have cheated," she told me in front of the whole group. The scales don't lie. I somehow managed not to burst into tears until after I got into the car, the shame hot inside me. I was 14 years old. Soon after, I started binge eating. Well, I was willing to calorie control, aka starve my way to weigh less. My body had an inbuilt protective mechanism to keep me from self-sacrificing. My body feared there was a famine, so when it finally got access to food, I felt compelled to uncontrollably eat as much as I could before it ran out. I gained weight quickly. My family was alarmed and didn't know what to do with me. I felt like such a disappointment, ashamed for being out of control with food. I was told I looked puffy, like an overly inflated balloon. By now, my relationship with food was completely screwed up. Unhealthy and disordered. But on the outside, my ballooning weight was seen to be the real problem. And heartbreakingly, the harder I tried to lose weight, the more I ended up secretly binging on bowls of cereal, loaves of bread, or peanut butter by the spoonful, which was always followed by crushing guilt and Girl Scout promises to do better tomorrow. When it came to binge eating, my body didn't discriminate. I devour forbidden foods like cookies and cream ice cream straight from the tub just as readily as I gorge on healthy foods like cucumbers, berries, or yogurt. My body craved the things I was depriving it of: calories, food, energy. The more intense my emotional eating episode or my binge was, the harder I doubled down on my dieting efforts in an attempt to regain control. This left me stuck in the vicious cycle of yo-yo dieting, eating well during the week, then binge eating on the weekends, only to have to start a new diet every Monday. I wouldn't go to social events where I'd be forced to watch all my friends eat foods I wasn't allowed to eat, while I was ordering vegetables and dip, the dish I decided was the lowest in calories. I'd lie in bed at night doing mental arithmetic to assess what I'd eaten that day, and wondering how I could be better tomorrow. I was so desperate to please that I once cut my hair in order to weigh less at a check-in appointment with my nutritionist. But because